have a COVID hit or they got a downsizing hit. Hello, Carlos. I see you now.
How are you, Bill? How are
I'm
you?
good. Thank you.
What an honor to be here with you. This is a dream come true.
Well, it's an honor to have you on. I was talking to Nick um, Jackson in my base shop, and he was saying that you were texting back and forth or communicating on some sort of a level. And, when you find people that come in here and take advantage of our system. And I love to tell people, in Primerica today, Carlos, everyone is saying, wow, can you believe the kind of money being made? Oh, wow, gee, look at the money. Look at that. 3 years, $1 million earner. Wow, 4 months, RVP. Wow. No, this is how it's supposed to be if you work this machine the way it's supposed to be worked. So, Carlos, why don't you, we've got another guy on named Austin Durrett that he and I both going to be asking you questions or taking what you have to say and ask you to expand upon it. We also have James Watkins. James is the latest, biggest future Carlos Leon. Hey, James.
Hey, Coach. How are you? Hey, everybody.
Good.
What's up, Mr. Watkins?
How y'all doing? How y'all doing, family?
Well, Carlos, why don't you tell us about yourself, introduce yourself, how you got in, where are you from, how'd you got started? Take about 5 minutes, and then we'll ask you some questions or take us in a direction you think we need to hear. So, Carlos, let me give it to you.
Sure, Coach Bill. Well, my name is Carlos Leon. I'm originally from Colombia, South America. Came to U.S. about 18 years ago. And I was introduced to Primerica for the first time back in 2006. Back in 2006, I was recruited by Alice and Claudio Seneria. And at that time, they were division leaders. And just listen to you, Coach Bill, it's just like you're saying, it is supposed to happen for you because Alice was a division leader. I got started in the business, but I did everything that I was not supposed to do in order to grow. And I figured out I was in Primerica for about 2 years. I got to regional leader, but with a little help from my leaders. I never got licensed. And let me tell you something that most of the people don't know. In Georgia, we have temp license, right? Temporary license. So I got my temp license. I worked for 18 months and my license expired. After my license expired, I couldn't pass my test. I had the language barrier. I didn't speak English at all back in 2006. Now my English is broken, but still is good enough for passing the test and for doing business. But at that time, they were telling me what to do, and I just did it. We didn't have the social media. We were submitting paper apps. We have the Palms at that time, and they told me about prospecting, and I wasn't prospecting. They told me about recruiting, and I wasn't recruiting. They told me about getting promoted, and I didn't promote myself. So it was a lot of things that I didn't do in order to be successful in the business back in 2006. So I took the easy route, which it was quitting, which is what most of the people would do when they think that this is too hard, when they think, because it's not. 10 years later, I quit in 2008, and 10 years later, Alice and Claudia keep following on me for 10 years. Got recruited back in, he recruited me on January 23rd, and I get back to his office on February 14. And I start my journey February 14, 2018, and we become a regional vice president in 4 months. We had a plan on becoming a regional vice president. I had a plan on how to get licensed. We got licensed in a month and a half, fully licensed, talking about life, Series 6, Series 63. Get a base shop at up to 40. Got paid like almost $30,000 in 4 months. got promoted to RVP, and right now we just promote RVP number 11 in our hierarchy. So last year we were making in January $200,000, and so far we are about to cross 1.1 millions in the next 3 days. I believe we're gonna do it by Wednesday, if not by Thursday at the latest. And that's a little introduction, Coach Bill, about what we have done.
Well, how are you different in 2018 than you were in 2006? What changed?
Well, a lot of things changed. And a good thing was that Primerica helped me a lot to understand that in order to be successful, you can never work for somebody else. That was the first thing. Primerica was my first entrepreneurship experience in 2006. So that was my first shot to become somebody. Didn't took it the way it was, but it teach me something. When I went out of Primerica, I started my own business. I started selling clothing. I sell Colombian jeans. So I export Colombian jeans and start selling in the stores around the United States. So I learned on how to prospect. I learned on how to look for people. I learned on how to talk. I learned that if I want to be successful, I have to risk a little bit more than being comfortable. So I was independent for 10 years. I was grinding for 10 years. I was doing a lot of stuff for 10 years. So when I get back to Primerica, I have a couple of fundamentals on how to be disciplined. First of all, that was the main change that I have from 2006 back in 2018. My discipline was at a level, I would say at 120% level. When I get back to Primerica, I remember I was working my first 4 months in order to become a regional vice president. I was working for 10 to 12 hours a day. And I was studying for at least 4 to 5 hours. That was my schedule. When I get back, I promised to my family that this time will be different. I promised to my family that the effort that we did for the last 13 years, it will be paid off through this company, because I saw the growth in people who stay from 2006. They grow. The only person who didn't grow was myself, because I quit. But Alex was almost $500,000 a year. I saw the Naranjo's hierarchy went to 1.2, 1.6, almost $2 million a year. A lot of people. And then I was watching your video, Coach Bill, about the system. And I don't know if you have it. And it was a video that was in Primerica online. It was through the app. You're in a background green screen talking about the replacement system, the multiplication, the 3x3. I'm trying to find that video, because that's how I train my people at the beginning. And since that, we just have the R. Williams system on our head. And that's the play that we've been playing every single day about creating an RVP factory. So what the biggest change that we had was the commitment and the discipline that we put into the business. And I learned that through helping people to understand those two concepts, we can become somebody. We can become unbeatable. We can do whatever we want to do in this business or in life. And I think those are the two most important things that change on myself.
I've got one more question before I hand it over to first James and then to Austin, Carlos. You said when you came back, you had a plan for RVP. What was that plan?
Well, I figured out something. I figured out that R. Williams, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because you were there, I was not, but I've been studying you, R. Williams, all of the great leaders that create this company. I study every single one on my daily basics. I listen to you guys every morning and before going to bed because I wanna do it the same way. I want to do it bigger, and I wanted to create something nationwide, right? Nationwide. So I asked Alice, and I was because Alice and I will be in friends for the entire 13 years that we met in 2006. And I asked Alice, how can I become a regional vice president in 4 months? And he said, how's that? And I say, because I want to join the business with one purpose, create an RBP factory. If you help me to get there, I join your business. And he say, well, I don't know if that's going to be possible, but if you do at least 40 by 40, you get licensed, fully licensed, you get paid over $20,000 in that period of time, and you give me a solid replacement, you're in. I will push, I will call, I will do whatever is on my hands to help you get to regional vice president. And then I remember he calls Coach Sam Shepard, and he asked Sam Shepard, like, hey, Carlos is back and he wants to promote himself to regional leader in 4 months. And I remember Coach Shepard, his face, you're like, eh? Like, here we go again. Another one who is gonna blow up, another one who's gonna quit the next day. So he told me, Carlos, the first thing you need to do is go get licensed. And then we talk about promoting you to regional vice president. At least get licensed. I think because he remembered that I didn't get licensed my first time. Life insurance license, something so basic. And this time I got my insurance license in 7 days. And I got my Series 6 in 3 weeks and my 63 in 2 weeks. It was back to back. Mm-hmm. It was one reason. I wanted to show people how to do it. I wanted to show people the possibilities that we have with this company that is up to you if you don't want to take it. So that was the plan. When he told me 40, I created a plan that I was like, okay, how can I get to 40, a base shop of 40 people, start licensing a lot of people and so on, get paid and everything and the licenses. So that's when I become with my plan of working for 10 to 12 hours and study at night. So I was working during the day and study at night when my wife and my kids were asleep because I have 3 kids. So we had a busy life. And I got home, I started working from 9 a.m. to about 10:30, 11 p.m., went home, and start studying until 1:30 a.m. until I fell asleep. I was done. I was exhausted. I was like, whoop, I fall asleep with my tablet on my chest, wake up at 4:58, 4:59 every day. I was desperate because I had a goal and I had a plan. And I have a commitment that I made to my family, a commitment that I made to every single recruit who joined me when we got started. And people were following because they were seeing the discipline and the commitment that I had. And I started seeing that in others. So that helped me to get more committed to what we were doing and study even harder. And every time I didn't have an interview or a KT or something related to the business, I was studying. But focusing on keep growing because I didn't want to waste my time during the day studying, because what I teach to others is you can do this. If you're full-time, you can do this full-time, and full-time means full-time, full, not pretending, because I pretend before and it didn't work. It doesn't work when you pretend. You can show up to your office and don't do anything, you're pretending. If you're showing up to the office, it's because you're doing something. And I showed them on how to recruit. We were recruiting all day. The first month, I remember we recruited 11 people because the plan was 10 people in the first month. Then scale from 10 to 20, because if you have 10 new recruits, will be easy to go to 20, because now you have people, you have warm market, you have the top 25, you have this team. I'm the king of esteeming people because I'm afraid to prospect. I'm still afraid to prospect. When my uplines, Alice and Claudia and Lillian and Mike Burke, back in 2006, they told me, let's go to prospect. I was hiding myself. We went to Home Depot and they say, let's get 10 names. And I was hiding in the restrooms or I was hiding outside the store and I was writing fake names, fake, because I was pretending being a player. So I show, hey, I got my 10 names. So everybody was excited, but only me knew that I was lying to myself and to the team back then. And I remember I was faking the calls. Can you believe that? Making, oh, didn't answer. Oh, he's coming tomorrow. I have one appointment. That was embarrassing. And I tell to my team, and I'm trying to be as honest as I can because you might be in that situation. So I learned that I was like, how can I create a system that I don't have to prospect, cold market, because we always prospecting, right? We always prospecting. So I create my warm market prospecting machine. And it was through the Fast Start Planner, which it was steaming the new recruit and recruiting people under them immediately. So those were my prospects. Those were I consider them my personal recruits. If I can recruit someone under one personal recruit, I consider those 3 new recruits my personals because I was there, because I did it, because I did the interview, because I helped you all. So I was building my base through getting new people from new people. So if we get 10, the next month we can do 20, the third month we can do 30, and the fourth month we can do 40. That's how it's supposed to happen. If you have more people this month, you're supposed to grow the next month. If you keep the momentum up and you keep everybody engaged. So that was the goal. And that's how it happened. The first month we did 11 recruits. We were supposed to do 10 by 10. We did 11 by 11. 11 by 11. And I was considering myself an RVP since day one. I remember I told my first recruit, listen, I'm just getting a starter. Oh, what a number. 111 participants. We love that number because we have 111 participants right now and we are millionaires 111. My wife told me that we're going to be 111 a year ago, coach. A year ago, she told me, you know what? I just have a vision and I think we're going to be millionaires 111. And I say, baby, come on. We are the $200,000 earners. There is 94 millionaires. How can it possible be 111? So I just look at that number, great number. So we got 11 recruits and 11,000 in premium. Off of those, we recruit 32 recruits the following month because the goal was clear. It was growing from 10 to 20. We needed an army. We needed people in order for this to work. So I had 2 choices: become a financial advisor or become a distributor. Create the biggest distribution system in Pramerica. That's what I am. I'm aiming to be the biggest in the distribution system. We're millionaires now, but Coach Bill, I don't feel like a millionaire. I don't feel like we deserve the million yet because we need more people. But the RVP factory works thousands of times better than I thought. The goal last year was to create 9 RVPs. We did 11. Not to be millionaires. I didn't thought about it because I thought it's going to take me 5, 6, 7 years. I had it in my plans about Miguel did it in 7, Mika Sander did it in 6. Why not to join them? How can we be millionaires through the best system on earth, creating RVPs and then helping others to create RVPs? So 32 recruits, and the following month we did 35 by 36, and then we did 40 by 40. Got licensed, got paid like $27,000 in cash in 4 months, and we got promoted to RVP. promote our first RVP was promoted in 7 months since he got started. Why? Because he copied it. He followed what we were saying. He got licensed exactly in a month and a half, talking about fully licensed. And then we did his run to regional vice president. I took somebody with a lot of discipline and a lot of commitment in this business, and I helped him to become a regional vice president. I push him up. Pushing up people is the name of the game. This is not just go recruit, go do premium, no, let's do, because I want to build an RVP factory in every city, every state, in Puerto Rico and Canada, like you guys just did. Like you guys create this company. I don't know nobody who had it bigger or faster than you guys had it. So I want to follow the best system. I don't want to improve anything because first of all, there's nothing to improve here. The only thing we need to improve is discipline and commitment, in my opinion, coach.
Well, thank you very much, Carlos. That was a powerful replay of the Art Williams system. James.
Yeah, I mean, Carlos, man, you answered a lot with discipline and commitment, and your belief level is extremely high. So that makes it tough to ask you a question because any question I would have, you got it. Success loves speed, and I see you moving on that, and your teammates are, of course, buying into what you're doing because of your example. Would that be correct?
That's absolutely correct, James. And let me tell you one of the reasons the questions become less when we explain the system, because the system is so simple, but it's so hard to do the simple things. We focus on the 4 or 5 points that you have to do in this business, and we don't get distracted. We don't get distracted with all the good stuff that is in the world. We don't get distracted with trying to get motivated by all of the great motivators that we have. We don't, because this business is so easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's simple. That the simpler you do it, the more duplicable will be. Has to be easy for others. Has to be super simple. So yes, my people, my RVPs, what they're doing is they're not chasing income. They don't chase the money because they know the money will be there. They chase greatness. They chase RVP promotions. Who can we get into the system and help them or pushing him up to become a regional vice president? Teach all of the concepts about the business, everything about our products. I mean, products are great. We all know they're great now, and we're gonna have mortgages, and we can have whatever you think. But they start this business just with life insurance. It was a great product to create the greatest distribution system on earth. So we don't teach a lot about financial advisor thing. We teach a lot about distribution system on how to push up others and how to promote others. They told me that when I told them I'm going to promote 9 RVPs next year, they were like, Carlos, you and your big numbers, you and your large numbers. What if I don't set that goal? I heard Art Williams and his team say that they're going to beat up Prudential. That was unbelievable. 9 RVPs is something doable for everybody, to be honest. It wasn't that hard. It was a mindset that everybody who joined our team, they knew that they would become a regional vice president. That's it. That was where we're looking for that. I was telling people my first month in business, I'm going to become a regional vice president in 4 months. And if you're part of this, then you're next. People are looking at me like, what that means? Well, that means that with that contract, that's the best contract in American business. I'm going to get paid $100,000 a year. You will get paid $100,000 a year. And through helping others to get there, we're going to start getting paid $200, $300, $400, $500, $1 million, $2 million, and we will become financially free. That's what that means. And for some reason, people start buying the idea. And I talk about all of the fundamentals about what Art Williams and his team was telling to grow this company. And I just study every single day. I remind myself every single day how this works so I don't get distracted. And that's pretty much what we have in our mindset every single day, is to push somebody, to help somebody to get there, to start growing our RVP factory. Right now we have 9, he says 7 to 10. Remember he says 7 to 10? So I was concentrating my entire 12 months last year on creating 7 to 12. I mean 7 to 10. We did 9 through first, and now we have 2 second generation RVPs in 1 year. And we're about to promote 3 second generations more in the next 60 days. Well, I would say 2 in the next 30 and 1 more in the next 60. 3 more. Our goal is 27 regional vice president this year, 27. So we're working every single day on getting that done, because I figured out that through building that RVP factory, that's when the true income will come. The true financial freedom will come. So I hope, James, I answered.
Hey,
I get excited.
man, you killed it. You killed it. I'm sitting over here like, okay, I ain't simple enough. No other questions for me. You stay focused on the A.L. Williams way. You saw that system, bought into that system, and I loved when you said, I reminded myself daily of what I was focused on, so I didn't get all distracted with all the other messages and all the other kind of stuff. You know the game that you're playing, so I appreciate you for sharing that, Carlos.
Thank you, James.
Austin.
Yeah, Carlos, man, first off, thanks so much, man. You give us your time, and we're excited about hearing from you. You know, since I've been in the business, there's been, I think, 3 people have like inspired the company. I think Mario did it, Ian did it, and I think you've done it. I think you inspired the company, and you've got people moving based on what you're doing. So again, we're just so grateful for you.
Thank you.
Man, one thing I want to hear you talk about, Carlos, is every time I've heard you speak, you're always talking about the multiples, 3 who get 3, who get 3, who get 3. And I think a lot of people are afraid of that, right? So could you expand on that, about your approach to the multiples and conversations you have with people to get them folks the multiples as well?
Sure. When this is the way we do, and this is the way we try to understand what they were doing, what Art Williams and his team and Coach Bill were doing. And I cannot imagine Art Williams helping every single one in his team. I cannot imagine Art Williams being in every KT with every player on his team, right? I cannot imagine Art Williams going and help one by one each. I don't think that's how it happens. So we have to grow by multiplication through teaching others on how to teach others, right? That's the pure key right there. Teaching others on how to teach others. Sometimes we have to understand that this business, we're not the most important person. We need to pass that on to others. We need to pass that on. We need to teach others on how to become the trainers, the leaders, the head coaches. There is only one head coach, like he say, but I'm going to teach you on how to teach your people, because I cannot be everywhere every time. So this is a multiplication business. So what we did since the beginning was, I heard Coach Art Williams say, we need to create teams under your team, little teams under your teams. It's one play for everybody, but we need little teams under your teams. And that's when the multiplication comes. So what I did is, what we did and what we keep doing, and we're going to keep doing it because it's working. Up to now, it's working. I don't know if it's going to keep working, but we're fighting for it. We know we need more people. We know we're getting there, but we're doing it with the multiplication system. So I figured out that if I find 3 people, let's say I get James, I get Austin, and I get Coach Bill. And I got my 3 people. They committed and they want to be somebody. So I'm going to help them to do this business the right way through multiplicating ourselves. So I got my 3. I want to make sure that James, Austin, and Bill They get their own 3 leaders on his team. That way you have a base of 10 by 10 every month. So let me ask you this, James. If I pick you as my top players, if I pick you because I want to get you to regional vice president and beyond, to be millionaire and everything, can you commit to do at least, James, 3 by 3 every single month with your entire hierarchy, with your entire base? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes,
At
sir.
least
You
3
can
by
count on
3.
me.
You might
can
do
count on
10
me.
by 10. You might do 20 by 20. You might do 100 by 100. That's great. That's going to be even better. But at least I need you to commit with 3 by 3. Are you on for the challenge?
Yes, sir.
If I
You can
ask
count on me.
Austin, same question for you, man. Are you on for the challenge? Can you maintain and can you do a 3 by 3 in the custom basics every single month so that this company can go to the next level?
I'm in. I'm on it.
You're
Yep.
in. And I asked Coach Bill, Coach Bill, can you maintain that production with your entire base shop?
Yes.
Great. Basically, I did my first level of commitment with my team. And I'm going to fight every single day for you guys. I want you to know this. You are part of my leadership. And I'm going to take you to places where you never think of it, that you can be. And then the next step will be, I'm going to make sure that you get your 3 by 3 every single month. That's my goal. I help you out. But then I'm teaching you guys that you have to duplicate what I just did with you. And that's my job. That's Carlos Leon's job. Maintain my 3 leaders, help them grow, but most important, help them do the same. Just 3. And I don't have to deal with their 3 people. I might help them recruit people. I might help them coach them. I might help them get interviews and everything, because my goal is for them to grow. But then after, when they teach others, I don't have to deal with them because that's Austin, James, and Bill's job. And you go from 10 by 10 to 30 by 30 base. That's how you create a 30 by 30 base. Just 2 levels of commitments. My first level of commitment, my first 3, and my 9 generation, my second generation will be 9 level of commitment. 9 people committed, but I only have to deal with 3 directs. That's what I did at the beginning, so that we can start growing something which it was multiplication, and that's how we did it. I grow with my 3 people. I start with 2. It was hard for me to find the 3rd one. I found my 3rd one and I start building under them. I start creating leaders under my leaders, team under the teams, leaders to drive little teams. And that's how we got to RVP in 4 months. And that's how we create 11 RVPs last year. And that's how we're planning on create 27 more RVPs. Everybody duplicate their own 3. Sometimes and we heard about this many times, right? The multiplication of 3. But I think if you do it, if you give your level of commitment, and this is how it works, because Austin, if I promise my commitment to you, I cannot be committed to 10 people. That's impossible. How can I be committed to 10 people to do my 100% to each? But what about if we all 4 commit to 9 more? And we'll do the job that we're supposed to do. It's easier. I don't have to worry about 10,000 people or 100 or 20 or 30. I just worry about my key leaders, helping them build, and they committed to their leaders and helping them build. That's how we create little teams. That's how we did it. And I don't know, Coach Bill, if I can say something, I don't know if that's I'm not planning on change the system or anything, but I went to little KT presentations. To be honest, I went for a total of no more than 6 KT presentations. Why? Because I had a great momentum. I'm sorry.
What does that mean, 6 KT presentations?
Well, going to customer houses.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to 2 of my key people to 2 appointments each, and then they start going by themselves. It was quick. We were like we need to create this momentum. We need to teach people quick. And we find out that in order, Our products, they sell by itself. Like you either need insurance or you don't need insurance. You either have the right kind of insurance or you have the wrong kind of insurance. I don't have to be too skilled in order to do that. Art Williams did it in a piece of napkin. This is the wrong, this is the right. You either need it or not. What we need is more appointments, more people in appointments. So I was not focusing on closing all of my deals. I was not focusing on being in appointments every single night. I was focusing on have the most people on appointments every single day. Somebody has to do that. Why not you? Why don't you start that movement?
Carlos, talk about the power of Zoom and how that has created all the growth you have and how you're using it. I heard you're looking at 30 to 40 Zooms a day with your base shop. So talk about Zoom. How do you monitor that? The numbers you expect from your full-timer, things like that.
Well, Zoom changed our entire business. We were a local business. We were operating in Georgia only until January last year. We started using Zoom in February a little bit, and then in March we were obligated to use Zoom. So now we have people in like 14 states, and my trainers or my leaders, my key leaders in the hierarchy, you gotta see them. They're at the office at least 10 hours a day, from 8 to 10 hours a day, and every single hour they have a Zoom meeting. Why? Because we're trying to do recruiting appointments. And through doing recruiting appointments, you will have a ton of Zooms. When you recruit someone, just think about the multiplication. When you recruit someone and you get 3 people off of them, and you have the chance to do 3 Zooms off of one person, 3 Zooms off of one person, that will explode your business. So we're doing Zooms every single hour. We have a total let me just show you the office. We're building this office right now. We have a total of 11 offices. We're building 8 more. We're building 8 more offices so that we can do more Zooms, more private rooms, more rooms to go everywhere in US. And I mean, Zoom will change your life because you can get anywhere at any time. And that's how it's been changed. But with the power of multiplication, guys, until we understand that, you already know the information, but if you don't have enough people to do enough Zooms, nothing will happen to you.
Carlos, how has replacement shaped your hierarchy? Art Williams created a replacement system, and I was the first. Rusty Crossland was the first one to give up a replacement. I was the second one. Wow. Changed our lives. Most people are not focusing on replacement. How's it changed your hierarchy and gotten you to where you are? Replacement.
Man, let me tell you, Coach Bill, we couldn't promote 11 RVPs if it's not because of the replacement system. We couldn't, because that would be impossible for you to create 11 RVPs from zero. That's nuts. Nobody can do that. 11 RVPs from zero. If you're trying to create one, it's hard enough. And if you can create it, then you have to take advantage of the replacement system. And here is another secret. I never brought any leader into the company. Never. Never, ever. My leaders came from my own leaders. So one leader gave me a leader as a replacement. They went RVP, and that's how we keep promoting RVPs. We adding RVPs to the system through the replacement system. One for you, one for me, go. And that's how we've been building it. So let me give you an example. If I'm giving my commitment to James, and James is ready to go RVP, and I'm playing 100% committed to James for him to go RVP, and I'm playing every day with him, and I create 2, 3, 4, 5 regional leaders with him because we're working together, and James got the numbers to become a regional vice president. In exchange for his contract, that would pay him a lot more money than what he's getting paid right now with this little team, I'm going to get a replacement. And coach, I got all of my replacements early. I got them earlier. I got them, and then they got promoted. I got my replacement before they went RVP. I was building my own replacement under my leaders. What they were building their own leg to go RVP. It's an exchange. It's a win-win situation, and you will understand this when you become a regional vice president and it's your turn to promote regional vice presidents. You will understand that it's the most genius system on earth. You don't have to build them by once, and you keep promoting RVPs forever. It's an amazing system. We couldn't done this if it's not because the replacement system, Coach Bill.
Well, your people have bought into it too, haven't they? How do you get your people to buy into it when other people are telling them, if you are in my hierarchy, you'd be an RVP already. You should have been promoted to RVP already. They've got to believe in you and trust you in the system, don't they?
Yes. Well, I think that we have created a culture of winning, and nobody questioned the system because it's working. Thanks God, we never got stuck in the process. That doesn't mean that we're not going to get stuck. That doesn't mean that we're not going to have issues. That doesn't mean that we might not facing difficulties, but so far we haven't got any of those. Why? Because we create a culture of everybody understanding what they come in to work for. They know that they're building a business. They know that they're recruiting people. They know about their replacement system since the beginning. And they know that in order to go RVP is something that will benefit you. It's not hurting you, it's benefiting you, because as an RVP, in order to be a millionaire, you need what? More RVPs. How you get there? Through replacements. So it's a culture, and I tell people, everybody who joins this office, since we speak the same language, everybody here speak the same language, the same play, so they already know what they're coming for. So they just, oh, that's what I have to do? Well, that's what I have to do. That's how it works. So they having a lot of success. That's how it is. But imagine if you're stuck and you just stuck and you never get the train moving, and you're trying to explain this, it's hard. But if you start winning, everything will be easier, because people will be like, oh my God, I have to follow that. I have no choice but to follow greatness, to follow winners, to follow what it works. So that's why we choose to follow the fastest and the strongest and the best of the best, which is Coach Art.
James, last question from you, and Austin, last question from you before we let Carlos go on. Go ahead.
All right. And so you talked about something that was very key, as you just said it there. You said you got a culture of success, and you stay on. You basically keep it in your mind where you're protecting your culture, you're protecting your people, and different things like that. And so, like I said, it's very difficult, because I'm with you already. What type of tips or what suggestions would you have as far as the relationship part of it? What type of things you guys do to continue to grow that culture, to grow those relationships inside the hierarchy?
Wow, man, this is so key and so important about creating that relationship. Like, if you ask one of my RVPs, I heard my RVP saying, if it's red and Carlos says green, guess what it is? It's green. It's green. We don't care. We're seeing red, but he says green. It's green. We don't care about it. We have a culture of following greatness, and we haven't done it so far. So, but this is super key, guys. Relationship will get you whatever you want to accomplish. Like, we are a family. I take my people with me to dinner like twice a week. My key leaders go to my house. My key leaders, I'm being with them when they got stuck, when they have problems, family issues. It's not just about the business, but it's creating a relationship. It's creating another family within the family. And people will quit on people, but people will not quit on a brother, on a sister, somebody who is helping you in the good or bads. And that's how we create this hierarchy right here. We respect everybody. We love each one. Doesn't matter about your numbers. It matters about your commitment and your level of respect for others. And let me tell you, that's something that we have created very well since the beginning. And we have 11 RVPs at the same office. We never, listen to this, never had a problem about, oh, this was my recruit and you call my recruit or this or this. The problem that we have is that everybody help each other. That's a great problem to have. Everybody love each other. Even though they don't get paid for this one or for this one, they helping each other. That's how we create the family. And like I say, if your coach say that is green and you see in a red color, you need to go by your coach, whatever he's saying. He's going to help you. It's going to take you there.
Austin.
Yeah. Hey, again, Carlos, thanks so much, man. Let me ask this, because one thing I think you've done so well is taking the Art Williams old school concepts, the principles, the foundation, but I also feel like you're a master at social media and leveraging social media. Will you talk about that for a second, just what you do, and maybe what you do through social media? Did you learn it before Primerica, that things you've applied to Primerica through social media?
Well, let me tell you, I don't do a lot of social media, but I create my presence, okay? I have created my presence. I want people to see me like I'm a business owner, like I'm doing well since the beginning. I haven't prospered a lot to social media. I have people in my team that they do, but I teach them on if you go to social media and you stay in social media, you never will be successful. Never. You will have a bunch of recruits, fake recruits. I call fake recruits, because a recruit is not a recruit until they plug in into the system. So what I recommend is only jump in. So, I mean, do your presence, create your brand, and show others that you're doing well. Even if you're not doing that well, show others, because people are very visual. But don't stay in social media, because this business is about, you get a recruit and you have to push that person up. And the best way to do is with the warm market. The warm market system will get you to places. Social media, since we don't have a physical product, we cannot sell through social media. We have to meet with the client. We have to explain the customer. We have to go through with the customer or the new recruit. So our system is not 100%, doesn't fit 100% into social media. But if I would recommend this, if you're stuck, if you don't have nobody right now, I will jump into social media, get someone, start prospecting in social media. If I get one, I will plug them in immediately to the system and I will warm it up. Get recruits of it, and never, I have never had to prospect, guys. Never, because I've mastered the warm market system. I master it. And I can say today that in my 3 years in business, I always had more people than I can handle it. But that's through following. That's not distracting me or my team on getting all of these new technologies and stuff like that. Come on, just think about this. 250,000 agents, that's how they did it. 250,000 agents without social media. With social media, we couldn't get to 150,000 yet. Are you out of your mind? I mean, let's face reality. This is a warm market system, and it works pushing people up, period. Yes, now we have technology. Use your social media just if you feel stuck and you don't have nobody else to talk. Nobody else to talk. That's your last resource. But sometimes we have people inside and we're looking for others outside. And we're taking our commitment. If I recruit you, I'm committed to you. So what am I doing prospecting social media when I have you just Austin here? Austin, let's meet up. I know you have people that you haven't called yet. Let's call it together. Let me see your phone, man. Let me help you out. Let me promote you. Let me help you get to RVP. That's a lot better than be sending the messages to a bunch of strangers in social media, wasting your time. If you have someone at the office, don't waste your time out there. Go help them. Go build them. Go push them up. And that's how you're gonna, remember, this game is easy, it's simple, it's creating RVPs. Are you focusing your 100% of the time of creating that RVP factory, or you just wanna close a deal to pay your bills, to go buy? Yes, you can do that, but we don't recommend that. That's our William didn't create this system for that. So just getting social media if you need someone, but once you get it, warm it up, plug them into the system, and just work in your own market, period. It will get you places, man. People trust people trust friends, people trust family, people trust others. So that's my best advice for social media.
One of my favorite sayings is the only thing in your way is your way.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that helped me was when I finally said, I'm going to do it Art Williams' way. I don't want to do it anybody else's way, Art Williams' way. So give us a final word before we let you go. You got about 2 or 3 minutes. Carlos, give us a final word of encouragement and direction, kind of summarizing everything you've said today. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I think and what I see, because a lot of people call me with a lot of production, and people who had built it bigger than we built it, is, and I asked them, so there is people who are building 100 by 100 base shops, right? That's great. I did it. I've done it. 100 by 100 base shop. Art Williams says it's better to have 10 RVPs doing 10 by 10 than to have an $100,000 base shop. So if we do production every single month, that's my best advice that will help you grow in the business, because the goal is to build RVP. So if you're doing 20 by 20, 30 by 30, 40 by 40, you should be focusing that production on building one person. If you have 50 by 50, you should be building 2 people to RVP. I see a lot of people building 100 by 100 base shop for the entire year, and they didn't promote RVPs. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't see, I cannot understand. But if I'm building on 100 by 100 base shop, it's with the only goal of promoting at least 3 RVPs off of that 100 by 100 base shop. So focus on the things that help you grow, stay in the warm market, and just have this in your mind. The only way to become financially independent is for you to help others on becoming regional vice presidents. That's how we think. That's how we've been playing. That's how we will continue playing. And I think, and I just hope that this help you guys. And we know, guys, coach, that we need a lot more people. I know that we're new in this business, but I find out that through pushing out people, I just got my order of books, and with that order of books, I have my favorite 2 books are Pushing Out People and Locker Room by Bill Orender. Those are my 2 favorite books. I read them. I just reread them. I teach my people, because we have the concepts right here. And this is $3, and the other book is like $10, $15. I mean, with an investment of $20, $25, you can figure out on how to do it. Don't look in other places where you have inside. Help your people to get promoted. Do promotions in motions, because if not, the train will fall out of track. Create momentum under your team. Help them to create momentum. Help them to believe in themselves. Become coachable of the place that your coach is calling, and everything will work for you. But the most important thing, guys, that we have to improve in 2021 is commitment and discipline. Mm-hmm. That will take you places, bro. And I will telling you, that will just change your entire business forever.
Well, thank you very much, Carlos. This has been wonderful. I'll call you in a few minutes. But congrats, we had a record crowd here, by the way. We don't normally have this many people, but when they heard you were on, they all flooded on. Thank you very much, Carlos.
Thank you, Coach Bill. My pleasure. My pleasure.
See you on Monica.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Carl.